please give a very warm welcome to Steven Van Belleghem.
So it's Brian again from Samsung.
Hey, Brian from Samsung.
If there's one message you're going to get about anybody who's here from Samsung, if you don't come to fall asleep, we come to listen, I would say you are fast. And my question is about speed, actually. One of the things which I take from your presentation is it resonates with everybody. Everybody's trying to grab everything. People are trying to take pictures quickly because they know their brain cannot capture everything. I think we heard yesterday between 7 and 10% of what people hear in a lesson will be captured. So we want to work as quick as you're presenting the information. So my question, I have two questions actually. The first question is technological change going so fast that people can't keep up?
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is, you talked about AI with a lovely slide, and you talked about fear and excitement. So what do you fear about AI, and what excites you?
Okay. Yeah, good questions. First one, is it going too fast for people? That's something that you hear a lot. My feeling on it is no. Because if it would be really too fast, no one would use new technology, and then it's worthless. If you guys make something exciting new, if Apple comes with something exciting new, if the Chinese make something, and everyone thinks, oh, it's too fast for me, then they don't buy it, and then it's worthless kind of technology. I believe that today it's actually easier to keep up than in the 80s, for instance. I think the worst thing that could have happened to you when you were like, imagine that you were 55 in the year 1985. And you've been working in a traditional way all the time and nothing really changed. And suddenly they say, we got this guy here, Bill Gates, he wants to put a computer on every desk in every home. Here's your computer. From now on, you got to work with a computer. Some of you had a computer in 1985. It was MS-DOS. Remember those days? Green screens and stuff like that. And you had to be half a computer nerd, basically, to find something. dir/cd. I mean, it was code. We were actually working in code. Imagine that you're 55 and they put that. I would get depressed by that. If you look at it today, this was already easy. If you look at the stuff that's now being deployed in terms of voice interfaces, you don't even have to read and write now to be able to talk with it. So I think the interfaces are actually becoming easier than in the past. And another thing is, we all think this thing is expensive. What is it, 1,000 euro? Expensive, a lot of money. But it's pretty cheap if you compare it to the computer that my dad bought for me in 1990 for 5,000 euro with a hard disk of 20 megabytes and floppy disks. That was 5 times more expensive than this device that is the smartest, most powerful computer the world has ever seen. So 1,000 euros for this is extremely cheap. But in our perception, it's expensive today because everything of technology has become extremely cheap. Voice assistants, I mean, the guys from Google, they throw it at your head. You have to really try hard to buy something that's more expensive than 100 euros in that market. So I don't think it's going too fast. I think I'm going to put it differently even. I really hope that things would go faster. I am frustrated with technology that works for 95%, like the Google Assistant and Alexa. It's cool, but it works for 95%. I want to have it a 99.91, then it's going to be really, really cool. So, part one. Part two, fear and excitement about AI, my personal thing. I get excited by most things. I get excited by gadgets as a person. I get excited by the way this could automate my day-to-day life. I don't know what the guys from Google told you, but you know, they're working on stuff that their Google Assistant, in my opinion, it could become like the dishwasher of the 21st century. You know what I mean? It helps you to spend less time on things you don't want to spend time on, and it facilitates your day-to-day life. I personally cannot wait until I have like an omnipresent, personalized AI platform that facilitates me in my day-to-day living, some sort of an operating system of my life. I'm really excited about that. What terrifies me is the lack of ethical and legal framework around the whole thing. For marketing people, I think AI will be like Temptation Island. You know that TV show? Temptation Island. They put a bunch of single people with a bunch of couples. They split the couples and then they pour like liters of alcohol in them and to see what would happen. We're like, it's the end of the microphone. No, it's okay, yeah. And they're like, what would happen? Yeah, guess what will happen? It's going to be the same for marketing people. AI is Temptation Island because if it really works, it will give us the power to manipulate thinking and to optimize certain things in our benefit. Let's take the example of price. Imagine as a marketeer, you have the possibility to optimize price. Do I need to take a different microphone? Different ear? Yeah, okay. So imagine price. What are you going to do? Imagine you know the context of someone. Imagine you know what they want. Imagine how much money they make. Will you charge person 10% more if you know they can afford it or not? So today, I think the temptation will be really high to manipulate things and say they will never find out. So I think what we're going to need really soon is something like algorithm transparency. Like public companies today need to be transparent about their financials. I think it would be really valuable if public companies have to become transparent about their algorithms. Today it's a black box, and I think that's scary. And I think there will be a lot of abuse because the temptation is so high. And this is companies. Huh? Think about people with bad intentions that can play with that. I mean, we can all imagine that that could go really wrong. And my fear is that politics are not ready for that and that they don't have a clue what's going on and that they will be too slow. And that means that in the next 10 years, we will have incidents that damage individuals and maybe organizations and maybe entire parts of the world. And I think we need to proactively solve that, but I'm afraid that that will not happen.